You know, we were talking about this earlier in the stream, right? Like what I want to see in BDO. Like this game is a ridiculously long grind if you want to get to the end game. People ask me, well, you don't need to get to the end game to enjoy it. I'm like, true, you don't. But if you want to experience like PvP in this game, you're going to need to have gear. I'm like, I couldn't even participate in the trial tournament because they didn't tell me, or I don't even think they announced it, did they? That you had to win one match in the normal gear tournament in order to qualify. I think that came out like after the first tournament ended. I was like freaking 620 gear score. Everyone else was like 700 something. They could AFK with an infinite potion running. I would not kill them. I'm like, there's literally no hope there. That kind of gear difference is like, if you want to compete at the top level, you're going to need the gear. Grinding for a year and a half, 2 years, that's absurd. I mean, you're putting in the hours that, you know, would make you like a lot of money in real life if you worked for that time. But yeah, I mean, like, here's what I want to see from BDO, right? What I want to see from BDO is the following content. I want something like Battlegrounds with normalized gear score. Let's say team deathmatch style, right? Then we have, let's say, zone control. Like, you know, in COD, they have zone control. You know, there are 3 zones. One's closer to your spawn, one's near the enemy spawn, and one's in between you fight over. And, you know, you get score based on how many people are standing in there for a certain duration of time, or just one person, whichever it is. That would be like something that could be implemented in this game. I just don't think capture the flag would be really good because some classes are absolutely cracked with their mobility, some are not. So capture the flag would be a bit sketch, but it could work. Who knows? They need to bring back Shadow Arena. I wasn't the biggest fan of it when it was around, but I think there was absolutely nothing to be gained from by taking it out because we all know Shadow Arena failed. Like, it was not a good game. The engine felt completely different. It didn't feel like I was playing BDO. So I just couldn't get into it. In Aeon, there's a type of content called Dredgian. A Dredgian is like this enemy warship where you board in. So you board in on one wing of the ship, the enemy faction boards the other. So it's a faction versus faction game, and there are bosses in there and mobs in there where killing those gets you points for your team, and the side with the most points wins the match and gets the final good reward. But obviously, because there are 2 opposing factions there, opposing teams, you fight for the bosses, you try to wipe the other guys out. So it's a PvE type of content. I mean, I don't want anything too complicated for this game. I don't want them to, like, you know, try to make everything and fail at it. No, I just want them to have simple, easy to do things that they can implement in a timely manner and that everyone can play and have fun. My biggest problem with the game right now is that I can't play with my friends. People are like, hey, dude, is it too late to get into BDO? I'm like, it's never too late to get into BDO. It's a great game. But if you're looking to play with me, like, you know, I have some friends that I played with for 10 years, over the years, multiple different MMOs. This is not one game I can play with them. I'm like, I can help you out in terms of knowledge, but that's about it. But that's what I want to see. Also, like, they should not shy away from the normalized gear score thing, like for PvP. Like, I get it. Like, let the people who have the high gear have the advantage in the open world, but have more content with an equalized gear score or utilizing trial characters, just because PvP should be something based on skill, man. I mean, just because the other guy has a lot more gear and there's no way in hell I can beat him just because I can't even get him down by 25% HP in a single combo. I mean, that shouldn't be the reason for me to not want to play, right? I would like to see that kind of content. I mean, this is a great game and I'm always going to stick by it. Like, it's given me a lot of fun. But right now, it feels like I don't want to grind for another year. I don't want to grind hardcore for just another 6 months. People like Russ, they're more tuned for the long run thing, but me, I'm not. If I'm playing a video game, I'm having fun while playing it. I'm not gonna play it like a job. Games gotta be fun. That's my philosophy. In World of Warcraft, like, I grinded hard. When I'm grinding, it's like with other people, like in a 10-man raid, 20-man raid together, like we're having fun. This game like promotes staying in a silo, you know? Like solo grinding orcs versus group grinding. You would think like group grinding will like make more money, but no, not in most cases. I shouldn't lose a 1v1 to an absolute whale who's being carried by gear. I agree with that. Like in open world, I'd say let the gear speak, but when it comes to like pure PvP content, let the skill speak. What's wrong with that? This is a beautiful game. I can't stress that enough. Like the graphics in this game, the animation, the amount of content that you can create for yourself. It's not like, you know, dungeons and raids and stuff, but let's be real. If we had like a raid and stuff, like, look at WoW. We played for a couple of weeks, then we're bored of it, right? Once we're done beating the hardest mode, we're like, all right, we did it. Unless you love the game, you wouldn't keep playing it. But this game is great. I just wish that one aspect of it, that's the end game PvP, would be addressed. Like, I am 100% capable of grinding or making enough money to have like 700 gear score plus. I know I am 100% capable of doing that. I just don't want to give that much time. Time is literally money. I don't want to pay that much money. I'm sorry. It's just not something I want to do for a game. I work hard. I don't want to work more. I don't see myself quitting this game for a long time because it's my rock, man. People think grinding in MMORPG is like a chore and it's like such a terrible thing. I love it. It's therapeutic. I just like staying there killing mobs for hours on end. It's very relaxing for me. But yeah, I'm just talking about like content I would like to see in this game because I think that's like one thing they never addressed. They let people catch up sooner, but I really think they should add content, PvP content that I can log in and queue into and have fun on will, or at least in like certain windows of time that doesn't depend on gear. But I just don't want a 1v1 arena. I want like a full battleground and stuff. Those are fun. I like it. There are things they can do. I believe in the, I mean, I'm not bashing on the game. This is a phenomenal game. Best open world sandbox MMORPG of all time. But after playing it for so long, it's like, the game entry point is still too high. Like most games, like most MMORPGs, you play for 3 months, like hardcore, you'll be at endgame. If you play for 6 months hardcore, you'll be, you know, solid. Usually, that's usually the longest. But BDO's grind is a bit intense, man. What would be a fair amount of time for a player to spend in this game to get full gear? Like by full gear, I mean like 670 gear score. Let's say that. I think 6 months is a fair number. If someone plays every day, 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 months should be more than enough. 6 months is a fair number. That shows dedication. It gives you time to, you know, learn the nuances of a game like as complicated as BDO. I mean, like there's a lot of depth to this game. You can play this game for like a year. I mean, if you have like really good RNG, you could definitely, you know, get to the end game really fast and then also like excel past it. Took them a decent amount of time, but I agree with the 6 to 9 months. Yeah, 9 months is pretty long, but 9 months casually or 6 months hardcore, I think that's fair. But whichever the number is, I mean, like it's kind of a ridiculous grind. But the thing is, this game isn't about getting to the end game. It's about the journey. If you're not having fun along the way, you're not going to have much fun at the end game either, right? Like if you're not having fun getting there, I mean, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. You're still out there grinding and stuff. The only difference is you'll be PvPing against people with less gear than you, than more gear. So, you know, I avoided MMO games like a Black Plague. Till recently, I got into BDO and other MMO games. BDO is the one I stuck with in the end because I enjoy the combat, and other MMO combat put me to sleep. I don't blame you. BDO is the best in combat. And the thing is, other games really need to learn this. Like BDO's combat is very static, and if you look at the bare bones of it, every skill I do, it's the root motion thing. Like it moves in a set direction for a set amount of distance. Even if I forward an auto attack, like it's doing its attack sequence straight and it's not letting you move around or something, right? I can't go like every direction and do all these attacks. It's a very static thing at the bare bones of it. But the reason why it looks so good, it feels so good, is the audio visual feedback you get. The skill animations are clean as fuck. The visual effects from the skills are really nice. Every game should learn that. Like BDO has so many classes, and that's so vital for MMORPGs. Because for an MMORPG player, content, like we're gonna beat your raids, we're gonna beat your dungeons, we're gonna farm your grind spots, and then we're gonna be bored. What gives us pleasure in playing are playing our characters, playing our classes. So like BDO does a phenomenal job, because since the game came out, they never slowed down, they accelerated. Most games, they slow down thinking, oh, all right, we did the hard part, now it's time to make money. Nope. BDO's been making, like, pumping out content non-stop, especially new classes.